real talk, just rap pack. Besides that, nobody I trust.
Back again like I never left. Young Sinatra, that's to the death. We turned up till we go deaf.
Right guys, so today's video, as you've seen in the thumbnail, is going to be putting on spacers to the Focus. The Focus is outside, obviously I'm inside. I bought these spacers, Barbarian Racing, block anodized wheel spacers. They look quite nice. They cost £50 for two. I thought it was £4 to be honest, but I'm an idiot. So I bought these. I haven't actually looked at them yet, so let's get them out if I can. There we go. So they have extended wheel nuts, and obviously they're 20mm spacers. What I'll do is I'll go show you why I bought them. These are basically to make the rear of the car sit a bit wider. So as you can see, the rear, it just tucks quite a lot. Like, it's not even close to being flush. Obviously, it needs lowering and stuff like that anyway. But, yeah, it's just got a good 20mm probably gaps. I'm hoping the spacers will bring these wheels out and make them fill the arches a bit more. Because, look at that. So what I need to do is jack the car up, take the wheels off, put the spacers on, see what it looks like, get a before and after. Yeah, let's get into this straight away. Yeah, so what we're going to do, jack the car up, put the spacers on, and basically figure out if the spacers, because I got 20mm spacers, I wanted to get smaller ones to the front and wider ones for the rear, which is ideal, because when I bought them I thought I bought 4, and I thought the 20mm spacers at the front might be too wide, and I think they would be. So I think it would only sort of need like 10mm spacers, or maybe even 5 at the front, but the rears are so tucked in, you need a lot wider. Well, we'll see. Once we put them on, it'll give also a reference for anyone who wants to put spacers on their standard ST wheels, sort of what sort of fitment you get. So the first thing you want to do if you are fitting spacers is obviously crack all the wheel nuts while the car's down, then jack the car up, take the wheel off, put them on. Depending on what ones you get, these are hub-centric ones, so you shouldn't get any vibration, they should be absolutely fine. So what I'm assuming is, I'll take the wheel off, put this on, screw stuff in, and stuff will happen. I don't really know, to be honest, but we'll figure out. We'll crack all the wheel nuts, jack it up, and figure out from there. Okay, so now that's done that, I assume they just go on like that.
That is cool.
These are the new lug nuts that will screw the wheel on, and then we'll screw these onto here to hold it in place. Oh, that's fairly simple. So yeah, actually quite easy and simple. So you screw these in to hold the spacer in place. I assume, I might be wrong, because is that not going to hit the back of the wheel? I don't know. These are quite small though, so these probably shouldn't hold the wheel on. Oh, so these go in, no. Yeah, so maybe these go in here, because they'll sit flat, I bet. That's what it is, I reckon. I was hoping that I'd get away with some new wheel nuts, because these are quite gross. Basically, I need to get a whole set of new wheel nuts anyway, because these look really old and gross as well. But I think that's how that's supposed to work. I haven't actually read the instructions, I probably should. But it's fairly obvious, isn't it? Isn't it? I don't know, maybe it's not. I mean, I could be doing this wrong right now. Maybe I had it right the first time around. But this makes more sense, because then this way, because then these will not sit, yeah, these will sit flush. Yeah, that's got to be how it is. That's because it's not tied. All this does is it moves the wheel further out of the arch. A lot of people don't like them, because it adds flex, because there's now more flex from there to like here, because these obviously have now been increased by 20mm. But a lot of race cars drive with spacers on, and a lot of drift cars. I know TJ Hunt used to drift with a ridiculous amount of spacers. Although saying that, to be fair, his wheel did fall off. So, but he had like a couple of mil of thread, so that was on him. That was not because the spacers. That was not because it was the spacers' fault. That was just him running too many spacers and not enough thread. Where this has got lots of thread. Thank you, Maya. That was very helpful of you. Are they both 19s? I mean, it makes sense to have them both as 19. Normally you do diagonals, but I just realised with 4 you can't. Well, I mean, you can to an extent, obviously, but there we go. Obviously, yet again, technically you should torque these up, but I don't have a torque wrench, so it is what it is. When you're on a budget, you're on a budget. So now, if I just put the wheel back on, Also, clearly, this is something you can do very quickly, surprisingly. Nice, easy modification to make. But yeah, so the front, you probably only need a 10mm spacer on the front of a Focus, but the back sits so in. It's like on my Seat Leon, the wheels, unless you get wider wheels, obviously, then you don't need spacers, but just for standard wheels for now, it's just cheaper to have a set of spacers. That's not going anywhere. Right, let's lower the car down and see what the fitment's like. Right, so we need the suspension to settle. Oh, there we go. That is some good fitment. Look at that. That's literally perfect. If you load the car, that would sit so nicely. So look, that's the after, which is pretty much bang on. Like that is 20mm spacers is exactly what you'd want for that. And then this is the before. That hole. But yeah, there we go. So that's one side. I'll quickly whack round, do the other side. I'll just do one big time lapse of me doing the other side, because you don't need to see how to do it again, because you've seen how to do it. But yeah, there you go. So that fitment, bang on. What I'll do is I'll go for a drive in a second, let it settle. But yeah, there you go. So guys, here is the finished product. The spacers have made the wheels fit absolutely perfectly. So if you're looking at your standard ST170 wheels and thinking, oh, I wonder if spacers would fill that arch gap, they absolutely will. It's so perfectly, look at, like, wait for it. Whoop. Like absolutely on the line. It's so good. I definitely want to do the front. So the fronts, if you have a look, just have a little bit more, or a little bit less actually, more to the point, of a tuck. So look, so it only needs like a centimetre, like it's so close between them fitting perfectly as well. Look, so they only need a little bit more, where now that rear fitment, look at that, look, ooh, perfect. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this sort of quick video of just fitting the spacers on and seeing what it looks like. But I can't believe how much of a massive difference it makes. Like if I get you a shot now, like it just sits so good. Like it just has such a better road presence from the rear. And I think once the front like wheel spacers are on, the front will look so much more aggressive too. Like I wonder, I'm gonna get a rear shot now. Like look at that. That looks so good. It just looks so meaty now. Like when it's driving along, it just says, I mean, obviously it needs to be lowered, but for now, it just has such a better road presence. So here's the front. So you can just see it at the back there. But yeah, I think once that front fitment, once those tyres are just sticking out a little bit more, like that looks great. Hello. Yeah, I think once those wheels are just poking out that little bit more, it will just finish off that sort of aggressive look that it has. Because look, they already poke a little bit, as you can see, but once they're fully filling those arches, yeah, it's going to look perfect. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.